So, our next speaker embodies the entrepreneurial spirit that transforms AI research into world-changing innovations. I'm delighted to welcome Mozhgan Tavakolifard, founder and CEO of AIZEN. With a PhD in machine learning and experience as a chief data officer across multiple sectors, Mozhgan specializes in the crucial task of transforming complex AI concepts into practical business solutions that deliver measurable outcomes. Beyond AIZEN, she serves as founder and chief AI alchemist of Alchemy Hub, a strategy incubator, and provides valuable guidance as a startup advisor at the Antler Incubator. Please welcome Mozhgan to share her journey from AI to entrepreneurship.
Thank you very much for such a nice introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm super happy to be here, super proud. I think I need a clicker. Yes. I've also been asked talk about my journey, and I always get nervous because I love to talk about myself, and then I go over time. So I always keep track of time. So I grew up, my background is from Iran. I grew up with a love of mathematics, poetry, and philosophy. And as a teenager, my hobby was solving 3D and higher dimensional geometry problems with pen and paper. So it was a pretty weird hobby, and sometimes I felt like it was pretty useless, but I would say at least it made imagination muscle for me. So if you feel like you have a passion about something that it doesn't necessarily make sense, just follow it. Go after your gut feeling. I didn't regret that. Fast forward, I came to Norway, and it started as a weekend adventure. I decided I want to do research about trust, modeling trust in a digital setup, and that was back to 2007. So NTNU in Trondheim was one of the few universities offering research studies in the world, and I was curious. I sent an email to the professor, and he invited me to come and present my research. And I thought, 25 years old, I can make a weekend trip from Tehran to Trondheim. And, and I did it during weekend because I started a new job, so I didn't want to use my holidays. So that ended up with me being, they opened a PhD position for me in Trondheim. And that ended up me being in Norway, which I'm forever grateful for. I did my research, and sometimes, when you're working on a problem which is not right now a problem, it feels like, what I'm doing, am I wasting my time? And does anybody ever use this? And I had these questions, I had these feelings as well. So I decided that I'm going to go for industry. Maybe academic job is not for me. I started as a data scientist in 2012. And this was also a bit early because very few industries in Norway started hiring data scientists. There was a lot of attention about big data. And at the same time, I noticed that we didn't have much data. So this was kind of the beginning of, industrialization with data. My job became bigger than being a data scientist. I started, working with the strategy, building the team, about the platform. And I really liked it. I felt like this is nice. The more I play an end-to-end role, I'm closer to making an impact. I started my first startup, Dharmic Data, in 2015, personalization as a platform. And we started working with media companies in the Nordic. And the more we work with building personalization solutions, I felt like this is getting creepier and creepier because we were always after, collecting more data to have better algorithms, better recommendation systems. After 2 years, I made an exit, and I started kind of the opposite concept of that, which was iPowerMe, building personalization not for businesses as a solution, building personalization for us as citizens, so that we can get control over our data and we get paid for it. It's a multi-billion industry. Advertising industry is a multi-billion industry, so why we are not getting paid for our data? So this startup miserably failed. And it was, again, a bit early, 2017, GDPR started becoming a thing. We didn't have the technology we have today. The only good thing came out of it was a TEDx talk. Your data is your currency. But still, I would say it's a valid problem, and I hope that someone do something about it, and we need to make a change here. We need to own our data. It's becoming even more important now. Fast forward, I enjoyed being on executive roles and keep continuing playing that end-to-end role from retail to media, and then a couple of years in consulting business. And working in consulting for me was like going back to university. Suddenly I got exposure to companies, larger organizations globally in the Nordic, across industries, and started to compare these companies. And at the same time, I was learning so much, but also I started noticing that no matter how big your team is, no matter how much you're investing in data and AI, no matter what kind of technology platform you have, there are so few of these businesses getting value out of investment in data and AI. So this becoming an interesting problem. Why is it like that? And it's the same situation globally and in the Nordic. Maybe less than 10%, they're getting basically return on investment, getting value at a scale. And many of businesses, they're pouring money, investment, and not getting so much value. At the same time, I started developing a passion for human transformation. And this happened because of some situation in my personal life. I started becoming interested in what happens to humans when they transform and becoming a better version of themselves. And the more I started learning about that as a private passion, personal passion, and working with businesses, with growth, I started making comparison that actually these two things are not that different. So why we are not learning from human transformation and bringing that learning to business transformation? Fast forward, this is the result of the last 2 years, I would say. In 2023, I quit my job as a partner in a big consulting firm, and I started AI Alchemy Hub. AI Alchemy Hub started with the mission of transformation, helping businesses to get value out of data and AI, and not just big organizations, but all businesses. Because if I could help more businesses to transform and grow, and especially conscious leaders, then we could collectively create a ripple effect and make an impact collectively. So that was kind of a personal mission statement for myself when I started AI Alchemy Hub. So my dream for the AI Alchemy Hub is someday I create this interdisciplinary institute that I can bring human consciousness and business transformation together for the sake of business growth. There is so much learning, there are so much connections that we can make, and I hope that either me or someone someday do something about this. Out of AI Alchemy Hub and making comparison between human transformation and business transformation, the book, The AI Awakening, is born. It's a book that, it's a business book. I forgot to write it on the title. It's a business book. But then it was amazing that I launched this in November, and so many people have already read it with different background, not necessarily from a business background, and everybody has their own perspective, own point of view. So the book is about growth with data and AI, but I take a philosophical approach to it. And the first half of the book is about transformation. What does it mean? Why is it important? And how we can make comparison between human transformation, what we can learn from both worlds. And the second part of the book, I create a framework, and I present a different perspective, different approach towards business growth. And I make a lot of comparison to mountain climbing as well, because I'm very passionate about mountains. So the Norwegian version of the book is coming now, before summer, and it's called Koi Oppvåkning. And my last project, which was born out of all of this, is AIZEN. AIZEN is on a mission to make transformation with sustainability fun, easy, and cheap, with the help of data and technology. So a little bit digging into why transformation matters, a little bit giving you some taste of what the book is about. We are living in a very interesting time. There are so many forces coming together for the where we are right now with the disruption and opportunities happening with AI. We have abundance of data, we have abundance of knowledge, we have abundance of computing power, and of course, machine learning and AI and everything this is happening in this field. With all this together, as I said, we see that there's still so many few businesses getting value out of this. There are so many surveys, reports out there, but in general, if you want to compare it to a mountain journey, we can basically divide them in 4 categories. 60–70%, I would call them AI explorers. They're experimenting, they are using Copilot, they're building some proof of concepts. They're not started, moving towards a real transformation. They are in base camp 1. And then the majority they are AI visionaries or AI developers. They are these groups that either they have built a foundation, but still they are not converting this foundation, this talent they have invested into a vision, or they are very visionary. They know how to transform, but they have not translated this into impact. And then the less 10% AI leaders that really started redefining themselves, and they continuously redefine themselves. So the missing piece, I talked about this. I make a comparison to a mountain journey. If you want to embark on a journey, be it like a small hill or a big mountain, it's not like you go to a boutique and you buy the most expensive equipment and you start on a journey. There are so many other questions you ask first. Why I'm doing this? With whom I'm going to do this? What we need to learn? How we need to collaborate? So I make so many comparisons, and I bring all this together in what I call Wisdom Spire framework. For example, let's talk about the strategy. The way we approach a strategy in the business is that we often start with evaluation of where we are heading in 3 to 5 years, how to get there. So I twist this around and I say, no, let's start with different type of questions. Why and whom? That's the question you will ask if you embark on a mountain journey. Because it becomes difficult. You will fail and you will go back. The weather changes. You go back to base camp 1 or base camp 2. If you're not clear on why, then you give up. Then it's difficult to decide in the right time what would be the next step for this. And also with whom, because it's all about people. When you create the right team, when this team can work together, and of course, diversified team. Why diversity is important? Because we have limited perspective. Our perspective on any problem is limited by our own understanding, our own knowledge, our own experiences. The more we add diversified perspectives, the bigger of the problem we can see. It's as simple as that. This is not about men or women or gender or nationality. It's about creating different point of views to solve a problem. So if you get clear on that, then the rest you will figure out. So that's about the strategy. Or if you base your strategy on human values ethics, then in a way you're solving all issues with ethics in AI. So one approach to solve issues with ethics in AI is a common approach we have. We create AI Act, and then we have algorithm bias, and then we build algorithm to monitor algorithms. We work on the data. So that's one approach. But as Einstein said, we cannot solve a problem with the same thinking we used to create the problem. We have to zoom out. And if we are able to zoom out, and if we are able to base our strategy on human values, our way of working, our communication, our team building on human values, we are solving the problem. And as Ingrid mentioned, ethical issues can creep in, even, not just by algorithm, even by design, by the interface, the way you are communicating the results to a user. So it's much bigger than just, we limit us to the algorithms. So I loved what Ingrid mentioned about knowledge. What I do in the book is that I compare businesses and their maturity to 3 base camps, and I connect this to human transformation. Shuhari is, for example, one of the Japanese concepts from human transformation that I borrowed to discuss in the business setting. And Shu is when we are, as humans, we start, to learn about performing tasks. As children, that's our goal, to perform tasks. And then we go to the next level, where we focus on our objectives. And then we let our goals and objectives define the tasks for us. And then some of us, we go to the next level, which is purpose. We don't have any objectives anymore. We let our purpose to define our objectives and tasks. And the same thing happened with business transformation. So Basecamp 1, Shu, is all about, understanding the processes and using technology, data, and AI for more efficient processes, for creating insight from data, to turn data and information towards knowledge. And then you're ready to move to Basecamp 2, which is business optimization. Here, during my work in my startups, as well as my consulting work, I have worked on any type of optimization problem, almost like, price optimization, supply chain optimization, workforce optimization. So anything that you have the data and anything that you can build a predictive model, technically you can optimize it. And then you are ready to move towards disruption. So the problem with the AI explorers is that they want to jump from Basecamp 1 to Basecamp 3 without taking the journey. And it's all about the learning that happens, the knowledge that you create, the journey that happens. So that was about AI Alchemy Hub. And AI Alchemy Hub started as a one-person business. I had quite fun. I was my own boss, so I said, what should be my title? AI Alchemist. So I put it on LinkedIn. I'm Chief AI Alchemist. Let's have fun. I'm still AI Alchemist, and sometimes I get messages from people, you should, optimize your LinkedIn. So, but now we are 2 persons, and we have 157 consultants also in India as our offshore center. And we are doing amazing work. We are having so much fun. AIZEN was born out of experience in AI Alchemy Hub, where I was sitting as a board member, working with some factories, and I firsthand noticed how much is important for these people to do something about sustainability. Small and medium-sized businesses are not yet, they don't have the mandate, to do reporting or be compliant with EU regulations. But again, you see so many amazing founders, small, medium-sized business owners, they're mindful about that. They want more sustainable business. And they know this is what the customers want, what the market wants, and also no matter of, political changes even, investors, this sustainability is happening, and that's a good thing. There's so much attention around it, the regulations and everything. But after 2 years, they absolutely did not do anything because it is complex, it is not fun at all, and it is extremely expensive. So only bigger organizations, they can do something about it, and just following those organizations, I could see that also they started a little bit limiting their budget year by year for sustainability. And this question came up, why? We have technology, we have data, can we do something about this? Can we make sustainability fun, easy, and cheap for small and medium-sized businesses? So that's what we started with AIZEN. And AIZEN, as of now, is a marketplace. We are building technology to enable not only customers, businesses, but also technology to enable service providers. There are so many amazing businesses, companies providing software as a service, ESG solutions. And we are hoping that we create the technology that they can also use to embed their own services. But at the same time, we started feeling the limitations of what we can do with technology right as of today. And maybe that's the reason that this is so complex and costly still. The first part, AIZEN is building on 4 pillars. The first pillar is the knowledge hub, the knowledge graph behind AIZEN, which is the brain of our platform. This is where we have basically modeled all regulatory frameworks in EU, as well as Norwegian regulatory frameworks. This can easily scale up to, regulatory frameworks in Denmark, in Sweden, and industry-specific regulatory frameworks. So that's step number 1, because we cannot see sustainability in isolation. We need to see sustainability within the current industry sector-specific regulatory frameworks. And that is something that needs to be accessible to any type of intelligence we are building. We chose to go after a hybrid model. The agentic architecture. And the reason for that was that when we were talking to bigger organizations, we noticed that sustainability is every data in our organization. It's employee data, canteen operation. So how can we expect a big energy company to share all their data with us so we can provide some insight in a software as a service model? So already we hit the wall with this type of architecture. And we found that federated learning and agentic architecture is the way to go here. And the last part is the thinking part. So here we need agents to think and act like a lawyer, not generalists. And that's where we have already built 2 prototypes for 2 intelligent agents. The first one is a sustainability agent, AIZEN. We are still having fun in AIZEN as well. And Lumina, which is the intelligent agent for what we call double materiality assessment. So these agents, they have access to the knowledge hub. They can perform operations. And that's why we can bring the cost down for small, medium-sized businesses. Because so much of the work is just automating the processes, collecting their data. These businesses, they don't come with a data platform. So we need to get whatever data we have and enrich this data with external data sources, collect data. Yes, so I'm over time. I warned you. And I just wanted to say that since 2023, I started living the best part of my life. I remember every single day of my life since 2020. I suddenly stopped being on autopilot. I decided I'm going to have fun. And I set having fun as the most important KPI for AI Alchemy Hub and AIZEN. And what I learned throughout all of this is that our human intuition, our gut feeling, is as important as data. So it's about balance. How can we create that balance? Thank you so much.